every experience, there is a certain duality. And the middle way is to have ability to respond in the right way. An ability to respond in the right way may mean not to respond to what others say, and to choose to respond not from a reactive state or conditioned place, to respond from a deeper place, which is not subject to the trigger, which is not subject to the action, attachment, and reaction. The middle way is between left and right, high and low. It is between there and it's exactly here. It is neither in one direction or the other. It's right in the middle, which is here. It's neither in the past or future. It is in the present. But the mind has no capacity to stay in the middle, because the mind itself is like a river. It's a flow, it's a stream. Even your focus has no capacity to stay in the middle, because focus is directional, single pointed. So focus always has a certain direction, a certain spectrum. It also doesn't have a capacity to be the middle way or beyond. So therefore, to truly walk the path of the middle way, it's to practice non-reaction, to immediately take some time to pause. This is how you could avoid a lot of arguments with your partner, with your friends, parents. So non-reaction is number one. Number two is giving a little bit of time, a little bit of space before your action. That's number two. Number three is to check from which place are you going to respond. Maybe it's better not to respond from conditioned place. Maybe it's better to stay a little bit of silent, to process, digest until you feel confident that that comes from a better place. And ultimately is to be beyond the duality of black and white, my way, your way. There is a third way. I call it the big now. So if there are two people in a conversation, there is one side, there's the other side. The big now, it's beyond one side or the second side. So then you realize it's not about winning an argument. It's to recognize, what are we doing here? You're in an argument. What are you doing? What are we doing here? What is happening in the big now? It's not about who is winning. It's about what's going on, what's really happening. What actual energy arose? And this is very, very important, because people are continuously responding to the energy fields. The energy field, I mean also emotion, feeling, any kind of energy that is in the present moment, in this now. People respond to that energy according to their level of resonance. So let's say some negative energy creeps in. So you were just sitting on the couch, with your partner or a couple of friends. You were just having a nice conversation, and then certain negative energy creeps in, and it starts to push the buttons in one person, in the other person, in third person, to see how they would respond, pushing the buttons. And then suddenly says, hey, this is not right. And the other says, what are you talking about? And the third one says something else, and boom, there's an argument. Is it about who is right and wrong? Absolutely no. Is it somebody's fault in a way? Not really. It's the awareness of what really is happening. That a certain negative energy creeps in and starts to push the buttons. That's what's going on. So many times, this is what exactly is happening in human relationships, in the way that people relate to each other. And people are very blinded of how they relate to each other, because they relate from a personal positions. And reactions, automated habitual reactions. So it's a very pre-programmed way of relating. And therefore it's so easy for negative energies to creep in, because they already know which buttons to push, and they already know that's going to be a really nice argument. Easy job. So when I look at people, how they relate to others, they lack awareness of the actuality of what is happening. And the actuality is quite simple in a way, because something negative came, and it's not really yours or theirs. It's just energy field. A negative energy field came in, maybe negative entity, negative being, negative emotion, some negative energy maybe came in, and suddenly start pushing all the buttons, and people respond like chickens. And when I look from the side, it's like, oh my, how it works. People have absolutely no awareness what's going on, and they keep on arguing their heads off for nothing. They just don't know what's really happening. So actuality is much more simpler, and all of you have ability to distinguish, because you do many times, you know, nearly once a day. Let's say that usually your day is quite nice, but usually at least once a day there is a challenging moment, isn't it? So let's say you take a full day, 24 hours, and you should kind of expect that there will be one challenging moment. And that's average, you know, that's nearly statistical. So if you know that, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna have that one challenge, and it's how you will choose to respond to it. Are you gonna choose to ruin the rest of your day? If the challenge comes in the evening, well, you're lucky you had a good morning and day. What if the challenge comes in the morning? Then you can ruin your rest of the day. So if you know that during the day there will be, let's say, one challenge statistically, and when it comes, then recognize, oh, that's the challenge of the day. And now I have a choice how to respond to it. And the best choice how to respond to it is to immediately pause for a moment and observe, oh, what is this about? What is the feeling, emotion, or energy behind this situation, this trigger? What is the feeling, emotion, or energy behind this situation, behind this trigger, behind what the other is saying to you? Because what they are saying to you, there's a certain energy behind it. They're not aware of it, but you can be aware of that. So what is this energy behind? And you will say, oh, there is some anger. That's the celebrity emotion in human life. So anger. And you say, oh, that's the energy of anger. It's the energy of anger. And therefore, what you need to do is the emotional inquiry, is not to respond to anger emotion. It's to choose to inquire, to recognize, oh, that's anger, and hold it in a bigger space. Work on it. Don't work on the situation, because tomorrow is going to be another situation. Your whole life is going to be different situations with the same energy of anger. So work on the energy of anger, not on the situations. So we work on the anger, and then you start to transcend it. Frustration, resistance, fear, anxiety, denial, arrogance, shame, humiliation. There's a whole spectrum of human emotions that you can work on those emotions, not on situations, not who triggered, why triggered, how should I resolve it. You're gonna waste a lot of time. Work on the energy, on emotion, on the actual emotion, energy, feeling. That is the middle way. Because otherwise it will be conditional way. Responding to condition, who did, what did, why they did it. And you know it never finishes. So that obviously doesn't work. So the middle way is to recognize what emotion, what feeling, what energy is here or arising, or what energy other people are bringing. because they may not know how to deal with it. So they may carry anger the whole day, and anger is more dangerous than any kind of flu or virus, because the whole civilization is suffering from the virus of anger and the virus of fear. What a lockdown we would need to have to deal with these emotions. And they have been here for thousands of years. Thousands of years. People have not managed to deal with fear, anger, frustration, all these low state consciousness emotions. Wait a moment. What's been going on this earth? These are invisible parasites, invisible energies, just like a flu or COVID and so forth. These are small, tiny energies that people simply respond, but they haven't dealt with it. So flu and other things, they're seasonal, they come and go, but anger, frustration, and so forth, the whole civilization is suffering. At least 5,000-6,000 years, nobody has even questioned how do we heal it, resolve it. It's not impossible. And I'm telling you, it's not impossible. It's simply that no one asked that question. If the scientists would define the problem, they would find a solution. If people put their minds on the right problems and the right questions, people are creative. People have a lot of potential, but people are not using this potential. That is the problem of civilization, not really using the potential. Now civilization is using technological potential. They're not solving the stupidity. They're not solving poverty. They're not solving lack of education, basic human needs. And how about solving the basic human needs? And then the next question, how about emotional needs? How about resolving mass fear, anxiety? And the media and social media is full of fear. Full of fear every day, packed with fear. Turn on your television, fear. Read the newspaper, fear. Open Facebook, fear. Packed. So when you solve the basic human needs, which is physical needs, food, shelter, water, some money, then you have other problems, which is emotional, psychological problems. Once you resolve those, then there are spiritual problems, the problems of energy disbalances, diseases, diseases, energy diseases. So after solving the worst emotional problems, then we need to solve energetic problems, psychological problems. Then we need to solve spiritual problems, because everybody's amnesia and they don't know that you are the soul. We need to solve amnesia problems. And then we need to solve the consciousness problems, that everybody has forgotten who they truly are. So you see how much there is to go, how much there is to resolve. And we haven't even started with the basic human needs as a civilization. Hopefully that's gonna start soon. I'm seeing signs that next year there will be major efforts to remove poverty, to provide clean water and so forth. But that's not in the media. The media does not make money out of these kind of news. So as above, so below. On the individual level, at your level, you need to realize that you're constantly dealing with energies, energy fields. If that sounds too complex to you, you're dealing with emotional fields. And how about if you change the word my emotion to emotional field? Does that make a difference? Oh, yes, it does. So instead of identifying that these are my emotions, you can say that is an emotional field, the field of anger, the field of fear. And then suddenly will start clicking in your head. If it's a field, it means it's not mine and it's not localized in your belly or in your bum or in your heart. It is a field of energy. And therefore it can be shared, yes, and multiple people can respond to that field of emotion. Because anger can be easily shared. So it's an emotional field. And when you start to recognize there's a lot of corrections to be made in the way that people think, understand, and communicate. Because so many things are wrong. My anger. Immediately you claim, what do you do when you say my anger? You claim the anger to be yours. So you reinforce identity of anger. Do you understand what's happening? That's called, now that's gonna be a big shock. It's called spelling. It's called spelling. What do people learn at the primary school? The children learn spelling. Now let's connect the word spelling to the mystical craft. You know, when the witches or wizards use the spells. Because what is a spell? It's a energetic statement. And now the usual grammar means spelling. So it's making energetic spells. Do you understand that? And when you say my anger, you're making a spell that this energy should be yours and you should keep it. This is what people are doing. People have no clue what they are thinking about and how these thoughts are creating their reality. And nobody even told them. And these things are so veiled and mystified that it became commonalities like spelling. Every child should learn how to spell themselves into identification. And every adult has fully spelled themselves into identification and limitation of very negative emotions and energies. And they have spelled themselves so much in their heads that the average human being has about 60 to 70,000 thoughts on average per day. That's a lot of spelling going on. And it's constantly repeated in your head. It's like mantra, you know, constantly repeated in your head. 60, 70,000 thoughts a day for the average person is being spelled of all kinds of usually crap. Because your mind is not saying, I love myself so much, I'm feeling so happy today, today is such a wonderful day. Your mind is not repeating that to you. That would be nice spelling. If you would continuously spell yourself in gratitude, love, happiness, joy, bliss, well, that's called now these days affirmations, positive affirmations. So there is a invented terminology now, but nobody has named the negative spelling or the negative continuous everyday affirmations. I am this, I'm that, this anger is mine, this emotion is mine, I'm feeling fear, anxiety. It's negative affirmations happening on a daily basis. So what is the middle way? To check what's going on. That's step number one. To start developing awareness. Awareness is that light which shows the isness in the now. And you need to check very much what you are doing now and now and now, moment to moment. What's going on? What programs are you repeating? What habits you have developed out of those programs? What is your mind repeating to you every day? Develop awareness, start observing, start choosing, start saying no, start changing, observing, changing, choosing. Now that's where the free will comes in, to stop, pause, observe, choose, change. And it's gonna take time, yes, because people have been pre-programmed 96% in their daily way of being. So it's gonna take time to deprogram, to continuously observe, to pause, observe, choose, change, heal, develop awareness, grow, evolve, open your consciousness. It's gonna take time. But in a couple of years, you can be a new person. You can be a new being. Your life can be wonderful. Your life can change absolutely. And all of you here already know that would you ever choose to go back in your consciousness 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Would you choose that limited state of consciousness in which you were 10 years ago? No, totally not. So the same way I'm telling you that the next level of consciousness is that much more amazing. And as you go up and up in levels of consciousness, you will not choose to go back because you will see so much more. And the full consciousness is the greatest gift, the greatest miracle. And it's yours, and it's here, and it's available. But you have to deprogram yourself from everything that's been going on, that you have not been aware of, that's been automated and programmed, habituated. Happiness is the light and bliss of this consciousness, awareness. That's what happiness is. You see, and you choose not to respond to the lower vibrations. You see some energies coming in and you choose not to respond to them, not to react to them. You choose not to engage in certain conversations. You have the power to pause, observe, and choose and change. Not only yourself, first of all, but even to help others when you become good at changing yourself. then you become good at helping others too. But first, you need to learn to change yourself, to open yourself, to deprogram yourself. So the middle way is not so easy. It's not the easy way, and it's not the difficult way. It's right in the middle. Because every time you will overcome certain challenges, you will be rewarded with something nice and beautiful, more loving. It's the middle way, and it takes time to heal and so forth. There are many ways to do that. That's another topic. There are quick ways, long ways. That's another topic. But today's topic is about the middle way. And that's what you can do. You can pause, you can observe, choose, change, heal, again and again and again, every day, yes, every day. Make it a new habit to continuously observe what is happening, to heal those energies, responses. And in a month, you will see how much you will change. In a year, you will not recognize yourself. In 7 years, you're going to be absolutely, absolutely new and fresh and different. Because every single cell in your physical body changes absolutely in 7 years. So you literally have a new body in 7 years. Because every cell is new in 7 years. So if you dedicate 7 years to rewire yourself, to deprogram yourself, even with your own effort, I'm not speaking about spirituality and satsangs and transmissions, just by your own effort, in 7 years you can become a new miracle you. And then you live the rest of your life in a new way. And that's what you can do, even by yourself, to a certain extent. And then, of course, sometimes you'll come to bigger challenges where you might need some help. And that's where we are here to help you. Because we have went through these challenges. We have overcame these emotions, feelings, energies, obstacles, blockages, triggers, traumas. So we have went through that. And therefore we can help you to do that. But you have to do your homework, which is awareness of every present moment, observation, what's arising, what energies are arising, if feelings or emotions. Usually in a day, as I mentioned before, there is one challenging moment. Somebody will tell you something, or you will slip something out, and that's a possibility for a problem. So that you remember. And if you know this, that every day you should expect one challenge, then you can be prepared. You're no longer blind. You're no longer hoping not to have a challenge. Yeah, that's not the way. The way is to expect, yes. Let's say every day there will be one challenge. Prepare for it. When it comes, oh, awareness, that's the one. And then, okay, I know now I should choose, observe, choose, change, heal, and so forth. So you will see that every day is going to become a better day. Because you know there's one challenge, now you know how to deal with it, now you know what to do about it. And every day there is about 5 to 15 on average different kinds of emotions, like bigger emotions. Yes, that every day is, you know, you wake up in one mood, 2 hours later, you have a different mood. In the afternoon, your mood changes. In the evening, you may be very relaxed. So every day, your mood changes. Energy or feeling or emotion changes between 5, 10, 15 times, depending on what's going on in that day. But every day, your mood changes. There is a certain flow of the mood changes. So if you know that, develop awareness that, oh, my mood is changing. Oh, my mood is becoming negative. Oh, I should not do that. I should pause, observe, and change, heal. So then you fix your mood in 20 minutes with a little practice. And then the rest of your day comes on a higher vibration, on a higher mood, more nicer energy. So you can work on your daily moods, at least 5 different moods a day, sometimes more. And your thoughts are reflections of your emotions, of how you feel. Your thoughts are simply reflections. And if you work on the emotions, on feelings and energies, you will not have many thoughts left, because you're going to work on the cause of arisal of thoughts. 95% of all thoughts throughout the day are repetitive thoughts of what you feel or don't want to feel, which is denial of something deeper feeling. So you might try to avoid a certain feeling and your mind will produce the thoughts. Avoiding a certain feeling means that feeling is much deeper. There's still a feeling, it's just much deeper, but the mind is trying to deny it and avoid it. Therefore, the mind arises with many thoughts, repetitive thoughts. So work on your daily challenge, work on your daily moods, at least 5, 10, 15. Work on your feelings, emotions, and energies. And then you can develop more and more immediate awareness moment to moment. Because let's be realistic, you can't be fully aware right now because there's so much conditioning. So start working on the bigger ones, on a daily challenge, daily moods, daily emotions, feelings. And that's how your awareness will increase. And that's how it can become more and more immediate awareness. Because the time lag is shortening. And therefore your awareness is increasing and is becoming more direct, more immediate, more in the now, rather than caught up with the challenges and mood swings and emotions and feelings. So that is a formula of middle way of transformation. The formula of the middle way of transformation. And that's what you can do. And that is your way. And that's what will help you to grow, become better, be more happier, change your life, open up your consciousness. Okay, so now let's do a practice together. Take your time to settle in, to slow down. Bring your attention to your breath. And ask yourself, what am I feeling now? What is the feeling now? Can I allow this feeling to be here? Can I be with that feeling? And can I feel more space around that feeling, emotion or energy? And it doesn't matter at which level of consciousness you are or how advanced you are, there is a certain feeling or energy here. Even if you're at 1000, there is something here. There is a certain energy here. So what is the feeling here? Can you allow it to be here? Can you be with it? Can you feel more space around it? And this is how you align yourself with the present moment, with what is here in your experience. As additional step, you can also ask, am I aware of my experience? Can I allow this experience to be as it is? Is there any resistance or denial of the current experience? Or wishes to change, which are desires? Or wishes that something should not be here, which are the opposite desires? The negational desire. I don't want this to be here. It's a negated desire. Or I want it to be different. That is also a desire. And that's okay. Just allow it. Feel more space around it. Everything now is okay. Allow it. Feel more space around it. You are already aware of this experience. You're doing a great job. And yes, you are. You're doing the best you can. And that's amazing. Give some credit to yourself. That is a self-love, self-gratitude. Recognizing that I am doing the best I can right now. That is a self-gratitude, self-love. For some of you, you need more practice. For others, you need more relaxation because you might be pushing yourself too hard. So that's the middle way. If you feel like learning more, then you need to practice more. If you feel you're pushing one thing so much, you're doing too much. Just relax a bit, expand. Let the desire to flow through. You can recognize that you are doing your best. And that's a form of love. Love yourself. Maybe you need to push less yourself and more love yourself. And when you're ready, you can slowly start coming back or reminding yourself to ask, what is the feeling now? Because your feeling might have already changed. If you feel you did good, you can come back. If you feel there is something else, try to see what are you feeling now? Can you allow it? Can you let it be? Can you feel more space around? Are you aware of your experience? Are you loving your experience? Or you might need to work a bit more, to practice a bit more, which is good too, which is okay too.
When I feel that negative energy, it's very apparent, like I know exactly when it's entering my energy field, and I don't know where it comes from most of the time. So when you were saying to like stop the energy and just pausing and then kind of calibrating to more positive energy, for some reason I was kind of letting the negative energy like flow through me and thinking that it was something that was being released from my own field. So how do I know if the energy is coming from outside or if it's a energy that's being released from myself?
Yes, it doesn't really matter from where the energy comes from. What matters is, what is this energy? So what are you feeling now? That's the key question. So certain energy comes. Doesn't matter from where it came. It might have come from another galaxy. Who knows? So it doesn't matter from where it comes, because energy fields are complex. They're multidimensional. What matters is what comes. So what feeling is here? And then can you allow it to be here? Can you be with it? Can you feel more space around it? Of course, this is a meditative practice. If you are in a conversation with someone else, then you should pause, observe immediately, and then choose respond or not respond. And if you see that you're becoming affected by it, it's better not to respond. It's better to say, oh, I'm suddenly not feeling so well. Can we discuss about this next time? You see, problem avoided. Yeah, so what matters is what comes, what is felt, not from where or who said what or why. These are not important things. Important thing is what energy is here, what feeling, emotions here. And that way you have power to work with it. That's that middle point where you have power to work with it. If you go into, so from where it's coming, no power. If you are going into who did it, no power. You have no power about that because it already happened. It's already here. So your power is what is here, and can I work with that emotion, feeling, energy?
When you deal with somebody who is, let's say if it's a partner and it's somebody very difficult, how do you know when to stop? You know, where your it's a bit difficult to explain this, where your emotions start to end, like what you can deal with in yourself, and where you give up on them, kind of thing.
Yes. First of all, not saying something is always better than saying something that you don't want to say. That's number one. Number two, silence and rest is always better than argument. Number three is you need to check what emotional field is present
Mm.
in your communication.
Mm.
So not only to check what you're saying, but what emotional field is here in this meeting, communication, conversation. So when you check what energy field is present, emotional field, then you will know a lot better what to do and what not to do. If you are not aware of emotional field, you're half blind of what's really going on in this meeting.
Mm. I I'm feeling this resistance coming up when you say, you know, like to take a moment to sit down and rest and be silent. I feel as
Yeah,
something is saying.
because you maybe got used to solving problems.
Just that thought of that fear of I'm not going to be heard, you know, comes out.
Yes, yeah, you see, yes, a thought of fear came up. Yes,
Mm.
that's what comes up.
Mm.
Yes, and you become aware what emotional field comes up. A certain fear came up that I will be not heard. Thus, I need to speak and make myself clear and be understood because you are speaking from a certain place of lack or fear, even if it's like somewhere disguised, deeper beneath. But that's what's being expressed and verbalized.
Mm.
You're verbalizing your feelings.
So how
So,
do I deal with that? Because I can't reason from this
yeah,
fearful space, you know.
yes, so you do this inquiry. There is a fearful space. Can you be with it? Can you feel more space around it? It's a meditative practice. It's
Mm.
not a mental resolution. It's a meditative practice. And that's how you deal with it. That's how you do it.
Thank you, Mindo.
Mm. It's a very important one. People are always verbalizing their feelings, emotions, even the deeply suppressed ones or hidden ones. And a lot of communication is happening of unconscious or subconscious or semi-conscious verbalization of feelings and emotions. That's the most of the human communication. If people would truly work on their own emotions, they wouldn't need to tell everybody else how they feel and make others sad about their sadness and make others feel fear because of their fear. So that's why these emotions like anger, fear, anxiety, they're so ingrained in the collective human consciousness. Because everybody has been feeding these negative energies for millennia, thousands of years. And when you stop doing that, you are returning power to yourself, to your true self. You're strengthening your awareness. That's what you do. And happiness is not luck. Happiness doesn't come about luck. Your happiness doesn't come just somehow. It happens because you know how to transcend the unhappiness, how to transcend negative emotions. And you have done it, you have practiced it, and thus happiness is forever yours. Now that's the real happiness.
I'm just a little bit confused. So that was very powerful for me. But where I'm getting confused is just with the last example you gave with the pregnancy. So if the mother is having negative emotions, and that can go down into the baby before the baby's even born, what I'm confused about is the emotion that it's being negative. There's other work I've done where I've been taught to express the emotion and not to name it, like not to call it bad or good, just to meet it with what it is, what it's coming up in my body as. So I'm a bit confused with.
But expression, yes, expression, it's another practice, it's another emotional practice. But the thing is that it's not emotional transcendence. Emotional expression, you know, anger comes, express the anger. First of all, you might hurt someone else with that. Second of all, are you truly healing that anger by expressing it? It's only good not to block the arising emotions, emotional expression. It's good not to block or not to suppress, yes? But we're speaking of another deeper approach where you recognize and you take care of that emotion.
And you do that by identifying what it is and then moving it to give it space, to have the space around it and sit with it, and that practice alone is a deeper practice, and it's good enough.
Yeah, you follow through the steps of what is the feeling now, can I allow it to be here, which means removing the suppression or blockage. So can I allow it to be here? Can I be with it? Can I feel more space around it? In this process, you already are not suppressing anymore, not denying it anymore.
Yeah, that clears it up for me, because that's where the confusion was coming in. It was just the calling it bad emotion. It was. It felt like what I was hearing or what I was experiencing or feeling there was don't acknowledge it, and that didn't sit right with me or something. So I just needed some clarity.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you would like to dig deeper into this topic, you can go on the website and click on practices, emotional inquiry, And there are more videos going in more detail about this emotional management. Yeah, so we have a whole section on the website specifically about emotional inquiry. And it's extremely important. Yeah, so it's also so complex that yes, you do need to ask questions, and I do need to answer these questions because there are so many circumstances and so many different examples, and a lot of clarity is needed. And we are trying to build up a library on this topic so that people get educated and learn how to do these practices. Because what we want to do with emotions, not only to express them, let them flow through or let them go, we want to transcend them, to heal, transcend, be done with them. That happiness would be everlasting. Yes, only letting go is not actually healing, transcending. It's just letting go. It's gonna come back later and later and later and later. Cycles, it's cyclical. Now we want a more permanent solution. That it's healed, transcended, done, happiness is yours.